What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we're going to be doing the playthrough video of Treasure Map Doflamingo, and also we'll be going through the brand new Intrusion battle, which was only available on the global side of the game. A brand new battle introduced inside the treasure map. So let's go ahead and get into it, as this will be a relatively longer video. So I want to go ahead and get into it and continue ranking up. I just completed my stream. We were streaming for about 3 hours doing the treasure map. I've gotten over 1.5 million points now, which is the threshold you have to get to get all of the super evolution skulls to super evolve legend version 1 Doflamingo, which I highly suggest doing so, because if you have him, he'll be a 1.35 times point booster during this treasure map. And obviously with this treasure map, the birds make a return. And as I said, you know, this is a new battle. We didn't have this intrusion battle on Japan, so this is a very, very new event, and a lot of people were getting kind of scared about it. You know, what's it going to be like? And you know, the good thing is it is an intrusion battle, which means you don't have to worry about the team you're using against it all that much, because there's no overlap between intrusion battle teams and your actual regular teams against all the other bosses here. I will go ahead and go up. I wasn't actually going to choose that way. It chose it for me pretty much. Okay, well, that was a misclick. But yeah, you can see that with the intrusion battle, because this map wasn't designed to have an intrusion battle, there is no secret pathway that the intrusion boss will unlock throughout his, you know, obviously when he comes around the map, he doesn't unlock a new pathway for you, which is kind of annoying. But here we are with the intrusion battle against Senor Pink. So the team I am using for it is pretty much a driven team. I do have 2 characters on the team that are not boosted, but they just help me with more points, of course. Now, we'll go through what he does. He actually is very, very easy. I would say he's the easiest boss out of anyone on the entire map, even all the mini bosses. Like, he really is very, very easy. He doesn't even have that much HP, and what he does isn't really that much. You just have to bring very, very specific characters in order to beat him. And honestly, you can beat him relatively easily with free-to-play teams. I'm not going to be using a free-to-play team, of course, because I want to, you know, get as many points as possible, but I'll see. Okay, there is a lore here, which is great. Shout out to Justin for the lore as a captain. We're going to go ahead and use that. 18 times team. But Senor Pink is relatively easy, but there is one thing that I don't like about the intrusion battle. Typically, in a normal intrusion battle, when you enter the room, you'll actually go ahead and get your cooldowns reduced, which help out a lot in your run, of course. Unfortunately, for some reason, they don't lower your cooldowns here, so it is highly, highly suggested to use boosted characters for this particular fight. But as you can see here, stage 1, very, very simple here. Nothing really too noteworthy. The turtles actually have a lot of HP. They're not like regular turtles where they have really high defense but low amounts of health. They just feel like regular mob characters. They really have a lot of HP just compared to normal turtles. But we'll go ahead and take them down. And then stage 2, once again, is just a full board of mob characters. Once again, there's no miniature boss that you have to take on, like the previous treasure maps with their intrusion battles. So very, very straightforward. And we will actually go ahead and wait 1 turn. And when we move on to the final boss, you guys will see what he does. As I said, it's not really too scary. You know, we were kind of scared heading into it, as I said, but nothing really too scary. But here we go. Here we go. Final boss here against Senor Pink. He is a strength character, so it is highly suggested to bring some quick characters. So with his preemptive attack, he's going to shuffle your orbs into either Psi or Int orbs. He will always do this. And also he has 2 turns of resilience, and he has a 2-turn HP barrier. So immediately the character that I would suggest is Smoothie and Oven. If you're using Smoothie and Oven as a captain, you have quick units, obviously, because they boost quick units. Their swap effect allows you to get the end of turn damage against Senor Pink. And the really good thing about that is it'll allow you to go past the resilience that he has, which is really, really useful. So other than that, that's really about it, because like as a captain, they make, I believe they both will make quick and int, or quick and psi beneficial with their swap effect as well. So there are lots and lots of ways to get matching orbs here. One thing to note though is that if you do use an orb manipulation special, they'll actually go ahead and he'll swap your orbs back to either quick or no, to either psi or int. So he'll always do that. If you use that. I use Pudding there to get rid of the resilience. I can then go ahead and use my Cavendish to go ahead and just deal lots and lots of damage here. I really should use Doflamingo first, then use the swap effect because we get a smaller orb boost. But as I said, you know, it is very, very easy. Like, look how much health he has. He really doesn't have that much HP, so you don't really need to worry about it all that much. Look, that was 400,000, and I'm on nav level like 6 or something like that, 6 or 7. So yeah, you really don't have to worry about it all that much, but you see he does deal death damage to your team. So if you have a way to block some of that damage, it's going to be quite good. But it looks like it's really not going to be that much damage. But having a type of character that can block some of that will be useful on definitely later navigation levels there. But overall, that's the Intrusion battle against Senor Pink. Very straightforward, very easy to complete. But now let's move on to the next boss. So the next boss that we've encountered here in the mid-map is going to be Sugar. So the team I'm using against Sugar is actually a Smoothie and Oven team. On this team, we are using a non-boosted character, being the treasure map Shanks, and the main reason for that is because he allows us to get more beneficial orbs on the final boss stage. If I had Legend Cracker, that would help out this team significantly, but definitely not a necessity. But having Legend Cracker would be really nice actually for color affinity and also a chain boost, which is really good. But once we get to the final stage, we'll go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so I just completed stage 6, moving on now to stage 7, final boss stage against Sugar. She's surrounded by 3 toy soldier characters. The one in the middle here being the int one is quite annoying because he is target locked to himself. He has a 1-tap Psi Orb barrier, which is extremely annoying. I really hate Psi, or just, not Psi, but specifically, but orb barriers in general. Orb barriers are terrible. I really hate them. I hate the fact they're in the game. We're going to use version 1 lore here to completely KO him, which is fine. You can use Treasure Map Jack in the same vein as well. Does the exact same thing. Allows you to KO him quite simply. At this stage here, we're going to go ahead and use the swap effect and also the special abilities of our Smoothie and Oven to get the buffed Captain ability, as well as shuffling away some of those orbs. But you do see that we do get block orbs here as well, which are going to be annoying. But this is why Shanks is here, because not only does he remove 1 turn of barriers, but he allows you to go ahead and get some more beneficial orbs, which is very good. But if you use this special twice, you can actually remove the barriers on both of the toy soldiers. We can also use the Akanu special here to reduce their defense, as well as apply a conditional boost here. And then at this stage here, it's pretty easy at just killing off the 2 toy soldiers and then moving on to the final one, Sugar. Obviously, that is only a mid-map boss, so she does obviously get more difficult than that. But the team should be reasonably well in taking on more later nav levels with some pretty serious damage. So not really too worried about that specific team. But let's go ahead and move on to the next boss. So now we've made the battle rush. The first boss we're going to be taking on is going to be Gladius. So the team I'm using for that is a Carrot Fighter team. This team is pretty good. I used it a lot on stream so far. No issues whatsoever with this team. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So I just beat stage 5, and now we move on to stage 6, which actually is a mini boss, being Dellinger. Dellinger's quite annoying because he shuffles your orbs into either empty or block orbs, and he'll also go ahead and lower your chain for 2 turns, and you can only use 2 specials per turn against him. For me personally, I'm just going to use the Carrot special to use the support 1 to shuffle those orbs around for us, so not really too big of an issue there. But in a situation like this, I'd suggest bring a character such as Treasure Map Shanks if you have that. You could use that on this team as well to manipulate your orbs around. There are plenty of orb manipulators that are boosted in this treasure map. But here on the final boss, which is going to be Gladius, he actually will apply 6 turns of Despair, so make sure to have sockets or a really good Despair remover. So in terms of Despair removers, definitely like Dex Neptune is actually a really good one that's boosted this treasure map. He's a 1.35 point booster, really good for this situation here. I'm using the Colosseum Opera to remove the Despair because we have at least 5 fighter characters on our team. At this stage here as well, we can use the Carrot special for an orb boost. We can use the Luffy special for a small type boost for our fighter characters, and we can also use Sabo for a chain lock. So this is going to be some pretty serious damage here, but you can see that he also applies damage threshold as well. Having a character to remove that is going to be quite key, or you can use Carrot as a friend captain to bypass that as well, which definitely helps out in team building. But let's go ahead and move on to the next boss, which is going to be Pica. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Pica. I am using a V2 Katakuri team for this, but there's only 2 free-to-play characters that are like really important for this fight, and we'll talk about that once we get to the final boss stage. Okay, so now we're moving on to the final boss stage right now against Pica. Pica is an int character. He has a 2-hit perfect barrier that you have to go ahead and take on. You can see that he will go ahead and half our HP as well, but the thing is he gives you 19 turns of negative orb enable. Now, the thing is all the orbs are negative. Like literally every natural orb is negative. All type orbs, recovery in tandem are negative, except for Psi orbs. This is where a character like Gil Tesoro, the raid boss unit, would have been very, very useful, but unfortunately, he's not a boosted unit. But we can go ahead and use Treasure Map Big Mom to go ahead and give us G orbs and all of those really juicy buffs, and that's going to be enough to go ahead and KO this Pica. And then in terms of a character that is going to be very, very useful after he revives, because yes, he does revive with 300,000 HP exactly. So a character that can deal 300,000 HP after revive will be very, very useful. So this is why we've got Colosseum Pica, who does 300,000 damage here. But to speed things up, we can go ahead and use the Katakuri special, which is going to be quite fine for now. So let's go ahead and move on to the next boss, which is going to be Diamante. So this is the team I'm using against Diamante. I'm using a Snake Man team, and in my video where I talked about the teams that I was going to be using, and even in my preparation video, I talked about this guy was going to be quite annoying. However, in the grand scheme of things, when you really think about it, he's actually kind of simple. His preemptive attack is the main thing that a lot of people are going to kind of struggle with, because you do have to plan your team around that preemptive attack. But we'll talk about it more once we get to that final boss stage. And now we've made it to the final boss stage against Diamante. So his preemptive attack will go ahead and lower the cooldowns, or rewind the cooldowns of your top and middle row by 2 turns, and then we'll also go ahead and special bind your bottom right hand character for 5 turns. So this is where things get kind of annoying, but Snake Man does help out a lot here, because his stage 2 special obviously is really good, but his stage 1 special is just as good as well, and you can use that to KO him as well. Now remember, the unit in your bottom left hand side is untouched, so you can have a special ability there. I'll have a Kainu in this case, who will give us a really nice affinity boost, and with an affinity boost, an orb boost, and a chain boost, there's not really going to be too many issues against Diamante for many nav levels. So Snake Man is a very optimal captain here against Diamante, no issues whatsoever. But now let's go ahead and talk about the final boss stage, which is going to be against Doflamingo. So this is the team that I'm using at the moment, which is a Bartolomeo Cavendish team. I am using a friend captain point booster Corazon, mainly just because at the moment this is a very, very easy boss fight, but in later nav levels definitely will not be able to use a friend Corazon here. But let's go ahead and jump into it. Now I am using also limited rare recruit Pudding. There's really no reason for her to be on the team other than the fact that she's a 1.5 times point booster character. It really just helps out a lot. Charlotte Linlin is important with Barto and Cavendish, because you can't use Barto and Cavendish's special on that final boss stage, because Doflamingo actually has a special interrupt for whenever there is an attack boost active. So it's best not to use any type of attack boosting special ability on the final boss stage. So this is why we're using his special on the turn prior on stage 6, which is very, very important. So far though, all the mobs are pretty simple from stages 1 to 5, and remember on stage 6 we do have the mini boss version of Doflamingo that we have to take down as well. So we'll go ahead and talk about that once we arrive at the stage 6 mini boss against Doflamingo. Alright, so now we've arrived at stage 6. Now the preemptive attack of mini boss Doffy is that your top and bottom row will get binded for 4 turns, and your entire team is special binded for 1 turn. So with sockets, it's only 1 turn of bind, which actually really isn't a big deal. So we can go ahead here and just stall 1 turn, and that's it, and we can wait for that to expire. Now, if you do not kill him at the end of this second turn, he's going to apply Despair and Paralysis to your team. So you really have to take him down in this turn. Now, because obviously, as I said, we cannot use an attack boost on the final boss stage, we're going to use our Linlin first to go ahead and give us our 1.75 times, no, it's a 2.25, isn't it? I think it's a 2.25 times type boost after the 12th combo hit to Powerhouse and Driven. We can go ahead and switch into our Barto, use his special ability to become the dual captain. We get the buffed captain ability, and at this point let's go ahead and KO this Doffy and move on to the final boss stage against the original final boss Doflamingo quite simply. There we go, drops a chest. So final boss Doffy, definitely ideally you want to have the treasure map rare recruit Corazon here, because you get given a chain lock to your team, which is really annoying to get around. Also he applies 3 turns of damage reduction, percent damage reduction, which Corazon also will fully remove. So we'll go ahead and use that to remove that. But definitely characters like Raid Cracker, Raid Judge both remove the chain lock. Raid Zora removes the percent damage reduction. There are a fair amount of characters that can actually remove those really annoying buffs on the enemy side of the field here. We use that 6+ Doffy special to give us the buffed orb boost, and at this point we have to hit 2 goods and let Barto and Cavendish do all the heavy lifting. So here goes nothing. Boom. Boom, no problem whatsoever right now. And that's a pretty good amount of points that we're going to get from that as well. So there we go. That's the full run through of Treasure Map Doflamingo with my current teams. At the moment, no real point to changing them at the moment. But as I said, like with most treasure maps, things are going to get more difficult as nav levels go on, which I will have to definitely shift around some of these characters, I would think. But that's about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video of me playing through the treasure map, and hopefully your farming goes well with Treasure Map Doflamingo as we reach 2.1 million points. We just got a brand new gold ticket, which I will go ahead and quickly record right now, and you guys will be seeing that ticket result at the end of the treasure map. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.